One of the things that you mentioned was that, or you commented on, was the number of vetoes of Senate bills as compared to House bills. Wondered about that, and it's also been speculated that you encourage candidates to run against incumbent Republicans in the Senate. So the question is, if Oklahomans should be concerned about good things happening here at the Capitol that might be hampered by your relationship with the Senate.
Yeah, again, I mean, just kind of really the same answer that I had before. First off, if I vetoed bills, it has nothing to do whether it's a Senate bill or a House bill. I really honestly had no idea there was a House bill or a Senate bill until I became governor. I think most Oklahomans don't even understand that, right? It has to go through both chambers. Why does it matter if it's a Senate bill or a House bill? I look at policy. We're not vetoing Senate bills or House bills. What's the difference? They both are voting on them. It's just a bill that would turn into law and a lot of times make it more difficult for business or make it more stringent for Oklahomans. And so if I veto a bill, it's because it's not good policy. It has nothing to do that if it had an SB on the front of it or an HB on the front of it. So that's pretty petty if they're counting vetoes between bills, because I don't think most Oklahomans even know what they're talking about. That's weird that this is what we're talking about in this building. Let's talk about policy. If you want to ask me why would I veto a certain bill, I'd love to answer that, because we can explain that to Oklahomans, and I would challenge anybody to explain, like 1470, for example. 1470, people are really confused. They think that is just a victims protection, domestic violence, and we are absolutely for protecting domestic violence victims. But that's not what this bill said. This bill said it was a anti-law enforcement bill. The district attorneys were against it, the Sheriff's Association. Everybody should be shocked and really understand this bill. This basically would have said that any crime, currently somebody that's in prison for bad stuff, rape, murder, whatever, could go back and say that there was some kind of psychological issue that happened 20 years ago in their past, and so they should have a different sentence today. It wasn't limited to domestic violence, it had everybody. And so that was the reason that I vetoed that. And there's a trailer bill. The way this works is I've actually talked to the author and Representative Eccles, and he's working with the associations for domestic violence victims to try to get that targeted to help them. So in other words, if someone had domestic violence and there was a crime committed, then sure, we want to take that into consideration on sentencing. But we can't. But that's not the way that bill was written, and people are trying to kind of spin people in a circle. But the district attorneys are against it. Law enforcement's against that. Judges would be against that. It was a bad bill.